Welcome to Mindset. I'm Suzette Buchanan. Mental health is not a luxury. It's something we need to pay attention to. On Mindset, we explore the stigma and trauma that surround mental illness. We share real stories, hear from experts, and take the conversation into the heart of the Jamaican society. Some stories are familiar. Others are far more complex, but every story reveals something about how fragile yet resilient the human mind can be. Today's episode is called Mind After the Flight. What happens when you're uprooted from the only home you've ever known? When a country you've never seen suddenly becomes your permanent residence? Our guest today, Ruben Simpson, was born in Germany, raised in New Jersey, and deported to Jamaica in 2007 after a series of mistakes. A very strange scenario, to say the least. But Ruben had never set foot in Jamaica before that. With no deep family ties, no familiar accent, and no sense of belonging. What followed was confusion, rejection, isolation, and years of depression. Ruben is here to tell us what happened to the mind when your identity is ripped in transit. This is Mindset. Let's begin.
Go deep your pa! Let's go! Shine! Alles gut, alles klar! Scheiße! Scheiße! Alles gut, alles klar!
Ruben, thank you for being here. Let's start from the beginning. So you were born in Germany and raised in New Jersey. What was life like before deportation?
I was depressed then. So it wasn't really, there was a little happiness that I could remember, but I stayed with a lot of things inside and I didn't talk from I was younger. So my parents, nobody used to really, they used to get somebody else to find out or to get me to talk, and then everybody would report to find out if, okay, so it was kind of, it was all right. I didn't really get a lot of attention, so I explored a lot. Nobody really knows.
Did you grow up with both parents?
Both of my parents were in my life. My mom and dad got divorced though, separated when I was like 6, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. But my dad only lived like 5 minutes away in the same city of East Orange. So we would see him on weekends at first, like he would get his weekend visits. And then there were times where my mom would send me to stay with my dad for like a year or for the school year, maybe like 3 times.
What is the relationship with your siblings?
Now?
Yes.
Very distant. Yeah, kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
What do you think has led to that?
Me coming here and everybody else's life still, the world still spins for them. They have their own lives, so I don't know. It's one of the things that affected me because there was not really any visits from any siblings or anything like that. I would communicate via video call or Facebook and things like that, but I couldn't do it for so long because they're happy, but I'm not happy. So it's kind of weird.
You said that you were caught up in the wrong crowd, which led to your deportation. Tell me more about that. What was the involvement?
Well, like what led to it?
Yes.
A friend of mine, or associate, somebody I know older than me, asked me to give drugs, a small, like a gram or less than a gram of cocaine to somebody that was coming to buy it. They gave me $100 US, $5 $20 bills. And the $5 $20 bills were like Xerox copy, like marked bills. So that person basically was working with the police to go make a buy and give the person the marked money, which when the police did come back around, they did search me, but they were only searching for money. And I had 2 of the $20 bills still in my pocket, but I didn't have any drugs or anything like that. So they arrested me because 2 of the $20 bills matched their $20 bills.
How much prison time did you get?
Yeah, I was sentenced to 2.5 to 5 years in Pennsylvania Department of Corrections.
Ruben, for many people, you shouldn't even be here because you were never born in Jamaica. What was it like when you first arrived on the Jamaican soil in 2007?
It's kind of surreal because I've never been here before, so I was more taking it in like, oh wow, this is Jamaica. Like, you know, the movies and the shows and the plays I watched from down here, I was like literally in awe. Like, so it didn't hit me right away. Although right away they realized I wasn't born here and the document I came down on was wrong. I went to the remand center because they claimed they didn't know what ties I had here. So that first 6 days in the remand center was like a wake-up call because jail here isn't like prison up there. So I got to see what that was, face value, which basically made me say, I'm not coming back in here, which I haven't been in any trouble. I'm clean record for the last 18 years since I've been here.
Did any family members or relatives receive you on your arrival?
The person that came to receive me, which was my grandfather's goddaughter, they wouldn't let them receive me because of the document saying that I was born in Lucy, Hanover in 1957.
And you were never born in Lucy, Hanover in 1957?
Yeah, I've been there, never seen it. My father was actually born in Lucy, Hanover, October 15th, 1957. And, but me and my dad have different names, so there's no way you could like mix that up and put that on there. In my property, I had a birth certificate that was in German, so they couldn't even read it. I had to get it translated. And so they knew something was wrong, so they wouldn't let me go. So that was my first. I wanted to go. I asked them, where am I going? In a hotel, and they laughed. And they're like, no, the best place they could put me is the remand center. And I went there.
We'll be right back.
Mindset is brought to you by Yadman Gas, Jack Den Medical Services, GPS to Beauty Medispa, Ministry of Health and Wellness, McKay Security, Gibo Trading, AC Marriott Hotel, TWP Attorneys, and Virtue Artistry.
At Jatden Medical Services, we believe everyone deserves expert care they can afford. That's why we offer advanced oncology and personalized cancer treatment, safe, high-quality dialysis for kidney care, complete eye care through our trusted ophthalmology team, and fast, reliable results from our Sumo Lab. Call us or contact us on our social media platforms. Jackden Medical Services, affordable, world-class healthcare.
Yard gas. Think me go make them call me Donny. Yard man thing, me say yard man thing. Oh worry. That thing. Again? Ami, you buy the gas after me and it done before me, Rasta. A yard man are just done saying. Yard man thing stronger and longer. Me cook for church, me cook for school, me cook for side chick, me just a cook galang saying.
Claim me for okay when me say gas pan tonight instead of him.
Me a full up. A yard man in the kitchen. Yard man still when me touch the road. It's a yard man thing. Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Here on Mindset, we take the conversations to the streets and hear from you.
Deportation doesn't only move bodies, but it also shakes minds. Walk with me as I ask people how they really feel about it. How has deportation affected it?
Since I came here, I haven't seen the doctor yet because of IDs and everything changes since 40 years I live here. And I'm homeless right now, that's why I'm in open arms.
After living in England for like 31 years, I got like 11 kids over there, and I got 2 young kids, 4 and 3 year old. I got no family down here. Listen, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I'm telling you right now, I would be like in Bellevue. This is the saddest day of my life.
I do not think I could survive being deported to another country without my family. I would die.
So I do think that humans naturally have the skill to adapt to any environment and situation that they're placed in over time. But I think initially it would take a toll on my mental health.
On Mindset, we're talking to Reuben Simpson about life after deportation and how forced return can fracture your mental well-being. His story is one of deep disconnection, identity crisis, and the weight of rejection. Reuben, you have mentioned going into isolation. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, I couldn't really be around people for long periods of time. So someone would invite me out, and I would after a while, I would have to say I'm going to the bathroom and disappear. It was too overwhelming because of my accent. So, and I don't know what to tell them, but people around me don't want me to tell them the truth.
Reuben, on that note of isolation and considering the importance of social support, where are your parents today?
My parents are both American citizens, and they both live in the United States since they were kids. So they're still there right now. As far as family support for me, there wasn't really much, just my mom really. It was like out of sight, out of mind. I remember I grew up with other kids that were from high West Indian families, and their parents used to say who is that, say Jamaica on the caller ID, don't answer the phone. So I used to hear that a lot when I was younger. So when I came here and then nobody would answer the phone, I automatically remembered that. Even now, I don't want something to happen to me and everybody go on vacation to come down here to bury me. That's my biggest.
That's one of your fears.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
What kind of mental health support have you received since your arrival to Jamaica?
I didn't know how to actually seek it. So the mental support was myself basically trying to fix it.
What was your method?
My method, the biggest thing was to let go.
Let go of what?
Of the past, of my past life, and try to accept here, but it was hard to be even accepted, and I was kind of tired of trying to please people.
Have you given up, or are you still fighting to return to the USA?
I'm fighting for what was wrongfully done to be righted. There were times where I felt like I was giving up and that I gave up because I was trying to basically accept here. I always told myself I might be here 15 to 20 years before something is righted that was wrong. But, and now it's approaching that time and little things are coming up, but.
Looking back, what has been the hardest part of this journey for you? You lost a home, loneliness, or the constant feeling of being misunderstood?
It used to be the being understood, but I got used to being by myself, lonely, but I realize it's not really healthy. Sometimes I feel like there's like a black cloud over me. Like everybody that knows me from the day I came here, they always say like, oh, you're so different. Like one thing I could say, you're a trying person. You've always tried so many things. At the end of the day, it's me holding myself down because I can't get past this mental part.
If you could say something to someone watching that doesn't feel like they belong, what would that be?
You gotta be strong. You gotta let go of what you're holding on to because that stops you from moving forward.
What does healing looks like for you today? And are you still in that process?
Yeah, I'm always healing. The healing doesn't stop for me because I'm alone. And at the end of the day, like, I try to get involved with people, but everybody has these hidden motives, or because of my accent, that's like blocking everything. When I first got here, I couldn't go 20 seconds into a conversation, even if it was like with a lady or a female, without them saying, you can't buy me a piece of chicken, or you can't buy me a credit, and oh, I like how you sound. I don't like being used, and that's what everybody does. So it makes me isolate and try to protect myself from being used.
Did you find it challenging in gaining employment? And are you employed now?
Self-employed. I drive.
How was it before you were self-employed? Were you able to pick up jobs here and there, or a stable job?
Some would say it's stable, but I wasn't used to the currency. But I was able to work. I worked. I got a job the first 2 months I was here, so I started working. But the hours, the money, it just wasn't adding up. And then the amount of work you got to do for almost nothing.
If you could ask for one wish to be granted today, what would that wish be?
For me to really have my U.S. citizenship, because I was born on a U.S. military base. My dad enrolled in the Army when he came out of high school. So I still wouldn't have been born in Jamaica to be sent here. When I went back to America from Germany, I never went anywhere else. I pledged allegiance to the flag every day from the age of 4 up until 18. So I just kind of felt betrayed as well because they called me stateless, like I wasn't from anywhere. I didn't know anything about Germany. To say I want to go back to Germany, I just want to be able to see my family freely. Yeah, I feel like I just got stuck since I've been. It's like a nightmare. It's like I got a life sentence after I did my time.
If the U.S. consulate is watching this interview, what would you say to them?
I'm not the same person when I was a young adolescent and I got in trouble. I did my time for what I did. I would like another chance. For they have this lifetime ban thing. I wish they could lift that and give me a chance to even apply like how regular people apply, and to just give me a chance to do the right thing. I want to be back with my family. Yeah, I don't have no family here.
Thank you so much, Ruben, for sharing your story. We'll be right back with our resident psychiatrist, Dr. Roger Roberts. Please stay with us.
Mindset is brought to you by Yardman Gas, Jack Den Medical Services, GPS to Beauty Medispa, Ministry of Health and Wellness, McKay Security, Gibo Trading, AC Marriott Hotel, TWP attorneys, and Virtue Artistry.
Order now and get fresh meats and groceries delivered right to your home or business. Visit us at 158 Harbor Street or 44A Windward Road. Shop smart at gibotrading.com or call us at 876-678-9882. Gibo Trading, fresh, fast, delivered.
Folks, welcome back. Each week on Mindset, we're joined by our resident psychiatrist, Dr. Roger Roberts. Ruben's story shows us that deportation is more than a legal or political event. It's a psychological rupture, a fracture in identity, belonging, and mental stability.
As it relates to deportation, I think that it would be important to highlight that historically there's a lot of stigma and discrimination against deportee. And it's a double whammy situation in the sense that there is also self-stigma coming from the deportee themselves, because they oftentimes feel ashamed of the experience. As it regards to Ruben's case, I think that there's quite a bit going on with identity crisis. Culturally, he's American. And in order to survive in Jamaica, he needed to become Jamaican. And I don't think that he has made that transition. And I think that is a big part of what I'm getting from his experience. Because he's not able to adapt as well as reinvent himself, because that is what is required to become a Jamaican. That has led to some of the consequences, like social isolation and loneliness. And the social isolation and loneliness clearly would be a risk factor for things like depression, anxiety, and so forth. I don't think that he has accepted his current state. I'm getting that based on his experience. And it is understandable. You have been uprooted from the only home that you know, and you're in a foreign country, and you're not adapting, because deep down there is hope. You're hoping that you will return to your home. And he has basically got stuck in that phase. I really think that my advice to Ruben is that he will need professional help, seeing a psychologist to work with him in terms of acceptance therapy. Because the reality is that he may return to the US, but he may not. And the question is, if he hasn't made that transition back to the US, what quality of life he will have here in Jamaica? And that is quite concerning. And just generally in terms of deportation, I think that people need to recognize that it comes with a number of stressors that worsen the individual's mental health. For example, I would have mentioned the identity crisis, but there is always issues pertaining to homelessness, issue pertaining to employment. There is the issue of potential exploitation from people. There is the issue that people may assume that you're a criminal and you're still engaging in criminal activity. And that can affect how people relate to you and what kind of friendships you form. So there's quite a lot of stress that they have to navigate. And failing to do so clearly will compromise their mental health. I personally believe that anyone who's deported at baseline should be screened for mental health challenges and be monitored for same in terms of how they're adapting. Ruben case is an extreme. There are Jamaicans who have been living overseas for a while, and they go through a very similar process as well, especially when they would have migrated during childhood. So we need to recognize that there's high mental health costs or risks of mental health compromise in deportees. And they need support, not just from family members, but I think that support in the sense that they need to be connected to local resources. For example, we've got mental health clinics, a number of mental health clinics throughout the country in various parishes. And I'm sure that Ruben could have gotten some benefit by attending one of those mental health clinics. Because anxiety and depression, post-traumatic stress is common in deportees. all these mental health conditions are treatable. What I would say to Jamaicans, don't approach everybody with this sweeping generalization that they're here to create problem, that they're criminals. Give people an opportunity, give people a chance to start over their lives, so to speak. And where we can, I think we should provide the necessary support.
Thank you, Dr. Robert.
Each week on Mindset, we share the voices of the forgotten residents of Bellevue Hospital, ready to return to society, but left behind by their families. Hear their stories only on Mindset.
I had a fairly uneventful life with regards to what my family has been doing. I don't know where my father is. Last time I saw him was in America. My two sisters, they are from different fathers. And my sons, they are two different fathers as well. One day, my sister and I had a fight. She took me out of the house. So I started to live with my baby father. He told me that he didn't want me at his house anymore because I had a relationship with someone else. And I got married to that person, and that person is dead now. My sons, one of them is a chef, the other one is a mason. They come and visit me, but that was like some years ago. I dreamed that my children would be able to work and make enough money to get a place for me to stay.
Today's story was about losing everything familiar, about trying to belong where you've never been, and about the quiet battle of the mind in the aftermath. Ruben, thank you for your vulnerability, your voice, and for reminding us how important identity, connection, and support really are. This is why Mindset exists, to bring these stories to light and to show that healing is not only possible, it is necessary. I'm Suzette Buchanan, and this is Mindset. Thank you for watching.
Set decor was provided by Elite Home Decor and shot on location at the AC Marriott Hotel.